Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today, we're diving into a conflict that proves history can be stranger than fiction. Imagine a war sparked by a single piece of cartilage. No, this isn't a joke. This is the story of a captain, a coast guard, and an ear, known to history as the War of Jenkins' Ear. It all begins in 1731. We're in the Caribbean, a region simmering with tension between the British Empire and the Spanish Empire. Spain controlled most of the trade routes, and its coastguards were tasked with stopping British ships suspected of smuggling, a practice that was, let's be honest, incredibly common at the time. Enter the Rebecca, a British merchant ship captained by a man named Robert Jenkins. While sailing through the area, his ship was intercepted by a Spanish coastguard. According to Jenkins' account, the Spaniards boarded his vessel, accused him of piracy, and in a fit of rage, the Spanish captain, named Fandino, brutally sliced off Jenkins' ear. Allegedly, Fandino tossed the ear at Jenkins and said, "Go tell your king that if it were him, I'd do the same." Jenkins returned to England with his story, but at the time, it didn't make much of a splash. Years passed, and tensions between Britain and Spain continued to rise. British merchants complained of Spanish aggression and demanded action from their government. That's when Jenkins re-emerged, in 1738. He appeared before the British Parliament, not just to retell his story, but to present a dramatic, tangible piece of evidence, his severed ear, preserved in a jar. The sight of a man holding up his pickled ear was so shocking that it ignited public outrage and stirred Parliament into action. Jenkins' tale became the perfect excuse. Prime Minister Robert Walpole had tried to avoid war, but public and political pressure became unbearable. The ear turned into a symbol of British honor, violated by Spanish brutality. On October 23, 1739, Britain declared war on Spain. Officially, it was called the War of the Asiento, but the public gave it a far more memorable name, the War of Jenkins' Ear. Now, the question everyone asks, was Jenkins' story true? And the ear, was it really his? Historians then and now have their doubts. Some believe Jenkins may have lost his ear in an earlier brawl, or that the whole thing was just a convenient excuse. Others argue that the political climate was already primed for war, and Jenkins simply lit the fuse. What began as a conflict over a supposed ear escalated into a full-blown war across the Caribbean and the Atlantic. It eventually merged with the War of Austrian Succession, turning a bizarre incident into part of a global conflict that lasted nearly a decade. So next time you think wars only start over monumental causes, remember the story of Jenkins' ear. It's a reminder that sometimes, the tiniest spark can ignite a firestorm. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss future uploads.